Hello, everyone. Jesse Webb, TradersPro. Market conditions remaining bullish in a bull market. We're definitely extended towards the upper end of that range right now. We're seeing that rank at 20, which is representative of this line right here. So just from that last rally that we had from last fall, the peak here, the retracement, and now we're sitting at that upper range. So we definitely are extended. It's an interesting market right here where we are seeing things just continuing to chug higher. We have seen buy-sell ratio turn back to negative as of yesterday, and that has put us at 0.8. So again, current market conditions, we're just sitting at the upper end of this range. S&P 500, if we look at this chart right here, and continuing to see just that nice overall uptrend, and we've yet to really see a real attempted crack at really any of these current trends right here, as well as these support areas. So we've got some ranges we can pull back into if we see some retracement. Watch to see if that ends up happening and we end up getting buying back into that. I talked extensively yesterday in a webinar regarding the kind of the topping conditions and how to be able to allocate and what some of the things to be able to make some adjustments on in terms of percentage allocations and holdings. Sectors, we're continuing to see sector strength in actually some weakness in overall sector strength as of yesterday. This is kind of that cracking of different individual sectors that we've been talking about and looking for, and that starts to happen as markets start to shift. But we've seen this before in the last 2 months. It's market conditions are just up and down and sideways, and not a lot of fear currently. We'll see if that starts to change. Once selling starts, then selling accelerates, and we have yet to see any real significant selling. But it'll happen here at some point. We just don't want to be prematurely trying to pick this overall top right here. USO getting some strength. USO is the ETF for oil, continuing to find some strength, bumping back up above that 75 range now as well. That's continuing to work. We're also seeing gold continuing to work in this upper momentum zone, and kind of consolidating some of these gains. Had a real nice week or two of gains on gold. If we take a look at some muscle stocks to consider this week, today rather, some new buys. Starting to see that new buy list today, but a little bit light as market conditions. A lot of those stocks have been pulling back, and that was one other thing I wanted to mention because we talked about this yesterday, and that was on this index scan. We've seen the buy-sell ratio. We were talking about that yesterday with S&P 500 buy-sell ratio up in the 7 or 8 range. One day just pulled that back significantly. There was a lot of stocks that moved from buys back into holds and then over to sells. So adjusting that buy-sell ratio, and that is reflective of what we saw on the overall market buy-sell ratio. Also, so seeing some additional, internal weakness on some of these names and some retracement right here. So certainly be aware of where we're at in the overall market structure at the upper end of this range and make adjustments accordingly. New buy list, really nothing overly interesting today. There were a couple of stocks here. LQDA, medical biotech, a nice pop right here. We're seeing, on time we get a rally up, and we're starting to see some of these fading, topping tail bars. Always interesting, sometimes not as strong as confirmation patterns going forward. ANET. Network stock. This is a nice looking pattern right here. Nice, gentle upsloping trend with some consolidation starting to happen. A bounce off of this upper 236 zone. A little confirmation there. It's got some resistance. If we can break out of those resistance, that allows for a little bit more of that upside to start to develop. See if there's really anything. NGL, again, keep your eye on energy stocks. Keep your eye on oil stocks. Those are starting to pop. Those are starting to move. And there could be some opportunity there as some of those names are starting to raise to the top here. Let's see, Helix Energy. Some of these are still bottoming out. Haven't seen, this has got a low rank. This is a good example of kind of where that rank, the pattern that ends up showing up is it's down towards the bottom end of the charts, looking in this direction and still trying to make that turn higher with a lot of toppiness. Once it's up in that range already, then it just gives us a little higher probability setup to be able to focus on that continuation of that that overall pattern. So those upper, ideally sticking to the 90 ranks and higher, then you get that overall nice upward trending pattern. That'll do it for today's update. If you want to join me each morning in the Discord channel and go over individual stocks that we're looking at and working on the new buy daily portfolio, the muscle wheel strategy, there's a link in the description of this video. Love to have you join us. And that'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.